Severe MMA. We're here at UTC Staffordshire, and we're with the main event, FCC 15, a main event that's changed your opponent a couple of times, perhaps. The rumors are out there that it was perhaps Tim Wilde and Rob C4 Sinclair, but obviously that couldn't happen. Are you a little bit gutted about that, or are you more than happy with the replacement?
A little bit of both, really. I'm happy I'm fighting Martin Delaney. He's a good guy, top ranked guy. I just said to Adam Tay, we want a top ranked guy. Unfortunately, the fight couldn't come off with Rob Sinclair, so the next option was Delaney, and we was ready to take either. So we're just after that top 10 guy now,
And Delaney's a good name to take. Fighting out of the Dinky Ninjas, he's 11-1. His only loss comes to Damir Hadzovic, a guy you might be familiar with from the Cage Warriors fight that he had. Now signed with the UFC, going to be fighting in Croatia. So and he of course tried to get into the Tough House as well. This is a tough guy from a great camp. How much do you know about him, and what excites you most about this matchup?
I'm excited about how tough he is, because obviously I'm not going to go in there and just put him away. As lovely as it would be, I'm not going to go in there and put him away in 10 seconds. It's going to be a fight. He's going to want to strike with me as well. He likes to mix it up. He's a good all-rounder. I know very little about him, really. I can only get his Damir fight on the internet, and he loses in that fight, and I don't know whether he underperformed in that or what, but he's obviously, you don't get an 11-1 record without being good. So I'm excited for the fight. Yeah, I'm really excited. These are the fights that I want. I've been asking for, and now they're starting to come. So,
and to main event, full contact contender, above perhaps, above Brandon Loughnane and his fight. That's guy. Hey, but hey, it's a main event, and with some real names on the card. Does that put any extra pressure on you to perform?
I put a lot of pressure on myself anyway for every fight. The way I take on board every fight, it's like it's my next fight that's going to get me to the UFC, and that's the mentality I have. Even when I had my pro debut, it was like, oh, if I win this good enough, maybe the UFC will see me. That's the attitude I have with every fight. So, but I thrive under pressure, and I always rise to the occasion. So I like that. With my history in karate and competing around the world and stuff, I've always been that kind of fighter. That I'm not a gym fighter, I'm a guy that rises to the occasion. So the pressure doesn't bother me so much. As to whether, I don't actually know whether it's above Brendan or below. I don't know which one it is. I reckon you just try to wind Brendan up, but I don't actually know. Either way, it doesn't matter to me.
Let's say a co-main event then.
Co-main, yeah. So, but yeah, I like Brendan. I've spoken to him a couple of times. So yeah, it's nice to be fighting on the card with him as well. He's a big name. And yeah, it's all good.
And for FCC, it's a promotion we got to give its due. I mean, outside of perhaps the returning Cage Warriors and Bama, with the exception of maybe like a Made for the Cage, it's as big a promotion as the UK has.
Yeah, I was Tobias for Ashley Reese on the last one, and that's the first time I've been to an FCC event, and I was super impressed. They're a good show, and like you say, after the two big dogs, if you will, Cage Warriors and Bama, FCC is definitely up there for the next spot, and they're doing good things. They put on exciting fights, always good cards. They put on a lot of fights. They tend to run a bit late, but people stay, people enjoy it, and yeah, it's well worth the ticket money. So
let's go back to that, showing the ticket money then. Delaney's probably one of the largest lightweights that you faced. Are you doing anything different, or are you just concentrating on the John Jitsu?
John Jitsu's always there. I'm always training it, always developing it. Me, John, Tobias mainly work on it a lot, and then the other up-and-coming fighters, Jack and Rob, they work it as well. But every day, me and Tobias are in the gym, if not twice, 3 times a day. We might have one day where we're only in once, or sometimes rest day, whatever. But we're always working John Jitsu. But in my last fight, September, come out of it with an injury, so I was in a position where I did a lot of strength and conditioning, which was nice actually, because I've seen my body shape change a little bit and I feel stronger. And yeah, Delaney, you are right, he probably is the biggest kind of lightweight I've seen out there, But I don't feel worried by that. You know, Jefferson George was a massive lightweight, and he didn't manhandle me. Touch wood, there's only one guy who's ever manhandled me, and that's Jimmy Warled, and he's an absolute beast, as you know. So I feel quite confident with my strength. I think, yeah, I might not look like a big guy, but I think anyone who I train with will tell you that I'm not strong, if you will.
Is there a finish in this one? I know you always fight to the finish, but do you see a finish in this one?
Yeah, I always look for the finish every fight, but I think this one, like, I really want the finish. I don't want this to go to decision. And you know, the FCC have promoted him as a legend of Scotland, and he's never been finished before. But there's always a first in there. He's just human. He's just another MMA fighter who's got a chin like everyone else, and he's vulnerable for submissions like everyone else. So I will be working for the finish, as I always am, and I can see it coming off.
Tim, always a pleasure catching up with you. It's going to be a great card, a great fight. Tim Wilde versus Martin Delaney. Full contact contender 15th, March 5th, the Macron Stadium, Bolton. You'd be crazy not to be there. Tim, thank you so much.